Panther stay relatively even, you have to feel like Aatrox will provide a lot more in those team fights, just with the pure damage he puts out, as well as that drain tanking that comes through from the sustain Aatrox gets access to. But we are now, of course, back onto the Rift. Game number 2. Chiefs up 1-0, maybe against a lot of people's expectations, putting in some great work there, and we see 3 lethal tempos here for the side of Chiefs.
That ruins balance for sure. Well, the lethal tempo Tristana is something that we've seen kind of gone towards a bit more recently. We're seeing a lot more fleet with the Shiv previously, but now a lot of Tristanas are just going towards the Kraken Navori, so not even going for the Shiv. I'm interested to see how this mid lane matchup goes, because a lot of the time in the PCS, it is the Tristana that has that pressure early, but that is with the Shiv, or with the fleet footwork, excuse me, and that allows a lot more aggression, right? You can play more aggressively with the movement speed. The sustain, it's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. So we'll see how those trades end up going.
Yeah. And the junglers are starting again on the same side of the map, although opposite to last game. They're starting on the bot side, headed towards top. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Sejuani to be able to look up there, try and find something onto that Aatrox. And again for Hana to try and protect that lane.
Wonder, Hana, do you think there's any chance he goes for a 3-camp bot? It feels pretty unlikely. Feel like it's pretty hard to gank his area with cleanse as well as a Braum with heal alongside it. Mid pro is going the way of Kisei at the moment, and bot lane, there's some big waves where we see some trades. Bone plating is procced by Panther though.
Oh, massive trade top.
Yeah, he's getting to work. It could have been a Rumble. All I'm going to say.
Could have been. Rumble not that great at level 1, but yeah, I think it was a pretty good Rumble game, but ultimately it won't be. And I think, interestingly, Hana's opted for Phase Rush, so it almost says that he might just go Demonic into the Radiant Virtue again, similar to last game. Panther, not sure that he spots how that Hana's doing this or not. He does, so he knows that that jungler is in the area. Good information gathered. And it is honestly Kevy who has a camp lead, at least for this stage of the game. Full clearing bot, now he's onto his top side. Hana on the other side, actually opting to not take his Krugs. So tempo afforded to Chiefs here for the time being.
It'll be interesting to see.
Oh, Chris Carter takes a tower shot.
Yeah, he takes a little bit, but doesn't feel like much will come of it in the bot side. Top scuttle could maybe be contested. I wonder what Hana is planning here.
I think that Hana might just rotate down to his Krugs and take that bottom crab.
Yeah, it's possible. He does have the Prio on the bot side, and it feels like having Prio top and mid right now doesn't feel that realistic. Ping's onto top side though. Kevin might go for the lane gank on this bounce back.
Well,
and if
like
Maokai is going to path away, Hanami's in a lot of trouble here.
Was Kevy spotted? You have to feel like he
Maokai's
wasn't.
coming.
Oh, this could be a 2v2. And the 2v2, you have to say, favors Chiefs pretty heavily. Although this minion wave almost adds another champion to it, so Panther should try and thin it at least slightly. Hana in the area. Oh, okay. He is there to counter gank. And it will just be likely both of these top and junglers heading away from each other. But it is this priority on the top side available for DCG that might just lead to the top crab being taken.
They might even secure both crabs for DCG here, with DCG's bot lane having Prio down there also.
Yeah,
Looks very
maybe
possible. Kevin might just try force the Prio mid though. I think he wants to be able to contest for this. It isn't the easiest though, and both junglers, they have to know this mid Prio matters.
Fight's happening bot. Pretty big trade there. Ray's getting quite low. Heal's still available on Aladoric to help this Zeri, of course. It was the Ignite used as well from Orca, but the fight coming out. Kevy Flash, Arctic Assault will land, and Mission getting very, very low. Does have teleport available, but it is a huge trade found there, and good look as Orca's going to be in the area. They might just find out Kevy, this Hex Flash being channeled. They are going to find each other in that top side, or bottom side jungle, sorry. And it should now be the double crab secured for Hana. So pretty big pick up there for this jungler. See how much it matters as we head sort of onto the second clear.
I think the double crab is more of a mental advantage than anything. There's nothing that junglers get more upset about than not getting one of those crabs. Reset does come in for Mission. He goes for the tear and the longsword. We've seen it many times that the Jaces do just rush out that Dirk, but more often now, getting some scaling on the tier nice and early seems to be the way to go. And of course that TP is matched there by Kisei. Dragon, it could be looked at. There is mid and bot priority for the side of DCG. Maybe instead, could they look for a bot dive? There is no cleanse on Raze, but this feels a bit difficult.
Spotted out. There is going to be heal available. That is the main summoner. I can sort of thwart off this dive as Cascada takes another tower shot for his troubles. And this wave slow pushing now towards DCG. Actually, no, it won't be. They're just going to shove it back into tower.
They might try again.
Hana's looking again.
Kevy's
But Kevy's in the area. There is no flash on Sejuani. Flash available here for Raze on the Zeri. As Aladok will land that Winter's Bite, but nothing to come from it. It's just a tower. Tower plate going down. Cascada picking himself up that one. I think all things considered, things not going too badly here.
No, I think that Kevy kind of has to do this in order to keep bot lane alive, but I think it's really good what Hana's doing, just kind of wasting a bit of his time and pulling him away from that top side of the map, not letting him interact with that Jax.
Ooh.
Big trade in mid lane for Mission with that phase rush, of course, as his keystone. Both bot laners will look for the recall, but it is DCG's bot who will be on the map first, and they can get prior and move up towards Herald if they so choose. Hana, he spots out the ward. We'll just clear this one up.
Biopanther's certainly doing a good job here of tracking where this Maokai is, especially when he's up on that top side. Now, there's both junglers mirrored on where they are on the map again. Looks like Orca's trying to find something mid. Just going to locate a ward, take that one out with his sweeper.
And Kizé looks like he's going to be forced to reset. He is going to be back on the map in time to contest the Herald, but should also be down items to Mission. I'm not sure if he is going to base or if he's just going to choose to stay. I think he should base and just try get as much power as he can for that Herald timing. Should have the Dirk as well. But you wonder, even with the item advantage for Jace in the mid lane, if it'll be enough up against the Jax Sejuani. More trades out on the bot side. Raze, he has cleansed soon, so won't need to worry. And Kevy, he's going to pull this dragon. It's pretty late, though. That could mean that Herald just going over as a trade. I wonder, are DCG going to move to this? Hana's trying to cross mid, but it's far too late to be here. I think it would be much better to put your eyes towards that Herald and the second red buff and the top side.
Yeah,
as
he's picked that one.
Yeah, and it feels like Hana just kind of left floundering, really. He's got to go back to his bot side, so there will be no trade whatsoever. Chiefs just get away with it.
Yeah, nice damage as well. Found there mid by Kizé onto Mission's Jace. Gets a pretty decent chunk out, and with the tempo being committed to Dragon, there was no punish. It means that maybe Chiefs can even look to try pick themselves up this Herald. It'll feel very good when you have the Tristana. We'll see, though. It is Kevy pathing up towards this top side. Mission, as well as Orca and Hana, all in that top side river. And it's going to be Aladoric, who is rotating out, but very, very late. Raze, though, following him, so if they are able to get there, will have a man advantage, as it seems like, at least for now, Cascada committing to pushing this bot side. And they do. They get this Rift Herald to reset, and now Chiefs have a man advantage. Should be able to pick this up. It's now down to how much can Cascada find for himself in the bot side while this is all going down.
Raze is very heavily committed to this. I think if you're DCG, all you need to do is waste a bit of Chiefs' time. Try not to overextend, but the longer you can keep Zeri up here, the better. Now, Biopanther might recall and go bot, and they could just swap their lanes just to make sure that Zeri gets more farm on the top lane, and I think that's what they're going to do. But it does come at a cost because there is quite a lot of gold picked up there onto Cascada. So question mark really around what Chiefs can do with this. They might just try and Herald top straight away and trade back some of this gold to the Zeri.
But for all the talk about DCG's early game, for me so far, it's really been Kevy who's been pushing the pace so far, looking for the early ganks in top and really being there to counter gank everything that Hana has tried.
He's been having a good performance for sure, especially for a guy who's more known for the carry junglers. He's looking very good on the stage.
Cascada and Aladoric here. Hanabi does have that ult available. Raze pops his as well. Aladoric and Raze now should be killed out by this Nature's Grasp, but good block there from Aladoric. But can Raze get out? Flash is going to be used as well as that dash. Aladoric trying to get away. He is going to live. Another turnaround. Raze continuing to wail on them. Hanabi down to 1 HP as well as Hana. There's so much committed here as Raze is trying to find himself a kill. Ultimately won't be. Kizé's in the area though. Does have flash, does have ult, but he's not willing to go into that 1v3. It feels a little bit too dangerous. But with the tempo now afforded heavily in favor of both Raze and the rest of Chiefs, a lot of gold coming back onto this area that was otherwise lost down on that bot side.
And just as we're singing his praises, Kevy shows up just in the nick of time to turn that top gank around. Doesn't quite result in a kill, but we should get a few plates onto Raze here.
That's big. Kevy just always right place, right time. And I think bot lane has likely stalled out because Criscata hasn't been able to make a lot of headway into the Jax. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see the lanes swap back now, as Zeri does want to be back on the bot side, play towards the next dragon. But the Shiv picked up, and I think a game kept relatively even in the early game is really good signs here for Chiefs. I'm liking their position in this game.
Yeah, I have to say that the Chiefs' rotations around the map have been pretty picture perfect. I mean, they've given over a little bit of plates there to Criscata on the bot side in return for that Herald. So as long as this Herald finds some value somewhere on the map, you feel pretty good. They're able to get Zeri a lot of that gold on the top side on that farm. And then putting Biopanther down bot, recall timing's perfect to, again, not lose too much on either side of the map. I feel like they've put on a bit of clinic around how to rotate around the Rift Herald.
They have. Mission is pulling pretty far ahead in CS, though. He has 119 at 11 minutes. That's really solid CSing. Now, could be looking towards this next dragon. There are no sums on the Chiefs bot lane. Currently missing all 4, which is pretty important. That TP does come in, has the Dust Blade, and I think this is a fight that should probably just go the way of DCG. I think Chiefs maybe just want to trade onto the top side here, especially with those sums missing. We'll see what they have in mind, though. Hana, he's not even looking towards the dragon. I mean, it's still a minute away, so can spend a lot of time on the top side still. Maybe wants to protect against some sort of dive. That Herald might just be placed in the Jax lane here. It's going to be spotted out.
Oh, yeah, they're going to find Hana, and Biopanther's in the area. Mission is coming down too. Grandmaster Might will be propped, and there's a nice stun coordination there between Chiefs, Kiwi, and Biopanther. Kiwi staying alive for now, but there's going to be a reset coming through now for Hanabi. Mission, as well as Orca, finding something onto Kize, perhaps, but a lot of poke. Buster Shot comes out. Kize does have Flash. He's going to use it to get over that wall. It's a 1-for-1. Flash followed from Mission, though. He's trying to find the damage. Kize running, but it's going to be Mission on that final auto attack. Yeah. Damn. Absolutely pushing the issue there, getting some gold for himself, taking Kize off the map ahead of this dragon. It is Raze, though, finding some CS in the bot side. Criscata, though, might be looking for a flank here, and Raze, you have to be careful.
He can go through the wall, right? Or, ooh, maybe not.
Oh,
he's
they're going to trade, yeah.
Fight.
They are taking the fight. He does go through the wall. The speed is going to help him to ensure his safety, but that's a big cooldown down. Should be the dragon now. Pretty comfortably given over to Chiefs. Sorry, DCG.
Let's take a look at the replay. It looked like a pretty one fight for Chiefs. I think the engage was really good. I think Mission just here so early has priority over mid and also just has a lot more damage than Tristana anyway. And while it was First Blood that went over to Kevi, you see by the time Tristana shows up, the fight's mostly over. And again, bot prio from Orca comes out, which makes it so Kize is kind of caught on the back end. And the confidence from Mission to go for this, just knowing his limits, absolutely perfect. Hits everything he needs to. Herald is dropped on top lane, but now this Jace is a big problem. Gold is completely even, all things considered, but Mission having the gold is exactly where you want it. And this time, at least he has a somewhat normal build.
Chiefs in the area, but you do not want to fight this. You have no ult on Zeri, you have no ult on Sejuani, as well as Tristana, so it will just be given over to DCG. Now Dragons at 1 apiece means that there is no real Dragon win con likely to come through. But if the game goes for as long as last one, certainly we can see it.
Could be. Jace really is going to pull pretty far ahead. And I think that Aatrox as well is in a much better spot than he was previously. While Jax has picked up quite a lot in that top lane, it hasn't been off an isolated 1v1. It's been more off the plates and fights that have been picked up around them. Turret plates actually do favor the side of Chiefs. But it's all about where that gold has gone. A lot of it just the Xayah versus the Jax at this point.
If I'm the Chiefs, I don't think I'd be complaining about that, though.
No, after Biopanther's game 1 performance, you've certainly know he's going to be there to put up the numbers when you need to. I mean, 8k damage, team fights as Renekton. Can't say no to that.
The X-May will be in one basket, but it's a good basket to have him in.
That's right. Okay. Second Herald spawning in 20 more seconds. If DCG can pick this one up, it would probably allow them to break mid, which is pretty important. When Zeri goes mid with that Shiv, is going to be really hard to take down.
Definitely.
So, looks like they are swapping. Mission is going bot and doesn't have the TP quite yet, but it is going to be up soon enough. And Biopanther also should be able to reset and probably grab his item here. I think this is a fight that both teams probably do want. There's a lot of skirmishing potential from the Chiefs. At the same time, DCG, they want to use this strong Jace. I think especially when Chiefs see Mission in the bot side, they're going to want to ping on towards this Herald, but they might be too late.
Yeah, I think it's just too little too late. Oh, although Kiwis are now in the pit. I believe that was picked up there by Hana on the Maokai. Teleport committing here Biopanther will be there, Mission will not. As DCG trying to run away. Nice Glacial Fissure. It's going to force out the flash, but ultimately won't catch anyone with the CC. And it is just the Rift Herald there. Given over to DCG, another objective in favor of that squad. As now Mission being looked at. He doesn't have the flash because of before, and Flash Winter's Bite will confirm he's getting stunned up. It's going to be Raze who picks up that one. It's a shutdown onto your Zeri. Zeris can go pretty mental. We'll see if Raze can pull that gold to good use.
And just there we see the synergy with that Brom and the double 80 carry. He gets the Winter's Bite onto the Jace, and it's almost instantly procced by the 280 carries.
You do wonder a little bit what Mission was doing, because he was in the bot lane and he had TP. But ultimately, if you decide not to TP to that fight, you should just take the bot tower. But instead, he walks up to mid, maybe to try to defend it, and was just caught out there without the flash. I think that could have been an even bigger win for DCG if Mission had just kept going bot. But being pulled towards that fight is a big mistake, and now will be forced to TP onto bot lane. And Mission, he queues forward, even drops some autos, just does not respect the engage that can come out. The flash from Aladoric, and a much-needed shutdown there for Raze is going to propel him very far ahead.
You want to see what he can pick up when he does recall. Do you feel like should be making quick work towards his second item?
We see a change of build in the top lane on the Aatrox.
Oh, he's got the gold drinker.
Oh, I hate that.
Wonder how much of it is just a reflex from game one. But it didn't really feel like the item had anything to do with it. Herald is dropped mid, and can this be broken? Looks like after a couple more autos it will. Brom is holding it up for now. Bot tower did just fall too, and Kevy, he's maybe looking for something. Can Hana get this?
Okay, they're going in. Twisted Advance under the tower. There is no ult for Raze just yet, but if they can stall out for long enough, it might just be. But first, Aladoric does get caught up by that Nature's Grasp, is taken down. It's a kill afforded there to Cryscada.
Tristana just used TP as well, which could be pretty big for the side lane, because this Tristana needs to be keeping up with the Jace. Is down almost 40 CS, and Mission 197 at 17 minutes. Those are Chovy levels. He's got his second item already, and it hasn't even finished stacking. So he's doing very well for himself, and of course we'll have that TP up before the Tristana. Now, interestingly, the Jace is deploying topside, even though Dragon's up in 50. So I think they just want to play to break this tower. Maybe they're not so concerned about the Drag just yet. And with no TP on the Trist, this could be a dive.
Yeah, okay. The Counter-Strike comes out, but it's disengaged from as Biopanther trying to clear out this minion wave. It should just be the Jax going down, though it is. Mission picking himself up a third kill. And a third tower not long after it.
Very nice proactive play there from DCG, and Mission in particular. I mean, going topside, then going for a dive there that Chiefs probably wouldn't expect. And after having pushed out top, they can probably just reset and come back towards the bot tower. So not often that you can make that play without having TP up, but I think they've managed it. And Mission's going to be out of base and pick up even more gold.
Kiwi going forward here is going to get Magnet Stormed onto him, is rooted up by that Blade Caller, likely to go down very, very shortly. Raze getting extremely low. Kiwi flashed after by Cryscada, does go down. Raze on the top side, though, also going down. And now it's Aladoric trying to run for his life, but you don't have anywhere to go, my friend. You are going to go down. As a double kill for Hana here on this Maokai, as attention should be drawn towards this Dragon. Ultimately, it was 4 kills there found for the side of DCG, not long after finding that kill on top onto Biopanther as well.
It was, and Mission somehow finding that single dingle onto Kize in the side lane was pretty big. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll see. So I'm sure Kize thought the Mission had recalled here, but was caught out, does not have the flash, and even with not getting the dash cancelled by the E, the Jace is absurdly far ahead. He's up 50 CS, 4 kills. He is just unstoppable. And this is a Mission I wanted to see in game one, and I hope we keep seeing it all series long, because he is such a good player when he's got that confidence going for him. Now working towards that Serilders, and this should be picked up here, the second drag. So things once again in DCG's favor, but they were in game one as well, and they managed to throw that one.
Yeah.
So it's not over yet.
They are less ahead this game than they were last game.
That is true.
It is important to note that it is Mission this time that's really far ahead. But again, we said if DCG win, it's usually off the back of this guy.
Another note, we have seen more of the Chiefs, the same from the Chiefs so far. That last fight, the Jacks had just been picked off, and they decided to take the 4v4 anyway. As we go into a fight in the bot lane.
He was just slapping him around.
That was an insane amount of auto attacks that came in such short succession. Going to force that Aatrox now to recall, maybe. It looks like he's doing some Krugs, but looks like Biopanther's having a pretty good time for himself in the isolated 1v1. See if he can find an advantage there and bring it to the team fight. Chiefs certainly do need something like that at this stage.
Okay. So no objectives up for a while, and I think we're unlikely to see any big fights, although, that being said, Kize is being looked at on the top side, and I think with Kize chunk so low, it might just be DCG now playing towards that top tier 2. It's very hard to break mid because of the Shiv, and admittedly, it's pretty hard to get mid pro either, just because of the Shiv as well. So, oh, Hana, he wants to find something here.
Hana's looking, does not have Nature's Grasp, but is going forward. Magnastorm used here, it's going to land onto Kevi. Glacial Prism to try and lock Criscata out of finding his way into the fight, and will do so, but it is a big ult used. Braum no longer having access to that, especially with Baron perhaps on the cards.
Have a lot of control over that top side jungle. You're right, they could look towards the Baron. Right now it feels like top tier 2 still remains the target. But this is so important. I mean, Mission being this far ahead and able to just freely enter the jungle, take away the camps. I believe he just took away the Krugs as well. Just accelerates him further and further ahead. And he is going to be just monstrously strong. And such an important dynamic, we talked about it last game, is your poke champions getting their items before lifesteal can come through. And I think there's no doubt that Cyrilda should be picked up for Mission before that BT. But hold that thought, as Baron is started up and Chiefs...
It's on a ward.
Yeah, they do know about it.
Kevi's definitely in the area, so... If there isn't a fight, could be an attempted steal come through here for the Sejuani. Does dodge out of that sapling from hitting her.
We do have a TP from Biopanther now coming through.
Coming through from the bottom. This Baron's getting very, very low here, and he's not going to be able to find his way into the pit. And Ray's also getting chunked extremely low before any fight can perhaps happen. And it's just a clean Baron. No real contest at all coming through from Chiefs.
Seemed very indecisive from the Chiefs there. They Jax TP'd very late. They didn't commit him to the bot tower. They didn't pull him up for the Baron. And they essentially handed over free of cost.
They did. It was a decisive call from DCG that starts it off. And you might not have even noticed in the fight, Zaladoric, he is potentially caught out here. Has the flash, he uses the heal, and that will get him out. But in that fight, it was raised over the wall. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. I was just saying, Mission, he dealt so much damage to Raze in that team fight. Just a QE over the wall, almost one-shot him. And now, even more falling. They haven't reset yet here, DCG, so I think probably will now. Spend that gold, get back on the map, ready to pressure. Could just be Mission TPing back. He does. TP's in the mid lane here. They've got a lot of power behind them.
Aladork stepping up, puts up that wall, and now Kiwi trying to run forward. Criscata does have Featherstorm, and you don't really want to commit too much onto Hana as this tank. At the top side, though, Jax committing that ultimate, and you're seeing the poke come through from Mission. Huge chunks, even onto the tankier members. Kisei, though, rocket jumping forward onto Hanabi. Not going to really find the damage for that, as now Hanabi trying to turn it on its head. Does use that World Ender. And now Aladoric here connects with the Winter's Bite. But there is no AD carry to follow up from it. Kisei too far away without that jump. Means nothing will be found. Orca coming over here, as it looks like this inhibitor will be taken out here by DCG. Base under heavy siege. There are 4 members of DCG that are pushing the Chiefs back to their fountain, as it looks like bot lane inhib next to 4.
And only 23 minutes in and already 2 inhibs down. Chiefs, they're trying to look for something off the back end here. Biopanther, he's trying to find it.
Biopanther has no ult, so he's going to be absolutely eliminated. He gets off the counter-strike before he goes, but ultimately it's too little too late. Does get taken out, and you're seeing Razor's health bar just constantly being chunked out. He can't really do anything. It's a 4v5, and DCG are walking up. There's no ult on the Aatrox. There is ult on the Maokai, which could arguably be the most important one. Not a whole lot of mana to come through afterwards. There comes the Nature's Graph. There is a block here coming through Kiwi. They're going to start working on this Sejuani, but so far, staying alive. The Radiant Virtue healing him up little by little. Of these Baron minions coming in, there's super minions with the Baron, and it's going to be this Magnastorm coming through first, and Raze is trying to find any damage he can. It's 1 kill, but it's 2 found for Criscata, as Hanabi World Ender again. He's trying to find the kill onto Raze, will not do so, but will do the second game here. It's 1-1 in the series.